The bar was dimly lit, its flickering neon sign barely holding on against the pervasive darkness of space. The air inside was thick with smoke and tension, a meeting ground for the galaxy's most dangerous scoundrels. Two figures sat at a shadowed corner booth, a younger alien fidgeting nervously, and an older one, his mandibles clicking as he sipped a dark, frothy brew. "So," the younger one began, hesitant but determined, "the target is a human." The older assassin froze mid-sip, his mandibles pausing in mid-click. He set his glass down slowly and fixed the younger one with a piercing stare. "What?" the elder rasped. "A human. That's the job." For a moment, silence hung thick between them. Then the older assassin let out a long, wheezing laugh. "I heard you the first time," he said, his voice tinged with incredulity. "I just can't believe anyone in this galaxy could be so monumentally stupid." The younger one bristled but held his ground. "I was told your guild could kill anything." The older assassin's expression darkened. "You keep that name out of your thrice-damn mouth," he snapped. "We abandoned the name Black Hand years ago after a bad deal with the Delpan Empire." "I don't care about the past," the younger one shot back. "I want this human gone. If you won't do it, I'll find someone who will." "You can try," the elder said with a shrug, "but no guild will take that contract. Even if you found some independent with a death wish, they wouldn't get the job done, not without dying first, or worse, ratting you out." The younger assassin narrowed his eyes. "You can't seriously believe that humans are unkillable." "Unkillable?" The older one leaned forward, mandibles clicking in what might have been a grim chuckle. "They're mortal, all right. I've seen plenty die, but no assassin worth their blade will take a contract to kill one. And you want to know why?" The younger assassin crossed his arms but nodded. The elder gestured for another round of drinks before settling back in his chair. "Fine, I'll tell you. Sit down, shut up, and listen. Maybe you'll learn something." "You ever hear of the Delpan Empire?" the older assassin began. The younger one nodded. "Of course, they ruled half the galaxy, didn't they? Before their collapse." The elder let out a dry laugh. "Collapse is putting it lightly. Their empire didn't just fall, it was shattered, torn apart from within. And the reason? Humans." The younger assassin frowned. "Humans? What could they have possibly done to—" "Patience," the elder interrupted. "I'm getting there." He took a long sip of his drink and began. "The Delpan Empire was unstoppable. Hundreds of species crushed under their boot, their world stripped of resources. Serve or die, that was the Delpan way. Even the Galactic Council couldn't stand against them. They'd beg and plead, but it never mattered. The Delpan war machine marched on, system by system. Then they found a small, insignificant star system. Its third planet was a death world called Earth, home to the humans." The younger one raised a brow. "Death world? Surely that's an exaggeration." "Not even a little," the elder said grimly. "High gravity, predators lurking around every corner, temperatures that swung from deadly heat to bone-chilling cold. And the humans thrived there. The Delpan thought it would be an easy conquest. A few fractured nations squabbling amongst themselves, barely capable of spaceflight. They were wrong. Oh, so very wrong." The elder leaned forward, his voice lowering. "The humans resisted, like no other species the Delpan had ever faced. When their governments fell, they didn't break. They adapted. For 20 years, they pretended to obey, working their farms and mines, raising their young like good little slaves. But behind the scenes, they were plotting, organizing, breeding not workers, but soldiers." "Soldiers?" the younger one echoed. "An army," the elder corrected. "And when the time was right, they struck. Sabotage, riots, missing weapons. And the Delpan, in their arrogance, dismissed it as mere rabble-rousing. By the time they realized the scale of the rebellion, it was too late. Human leaders who'd been hiding underground for decades resurfaced with plans, resources, and stolen Delpan technology. Factories churned out warships in secret, and the humans spread their revolution to the stars. They didn't just fight back. They united every enslaved species that Delpan had ever oppressed. Trillions rose up, inspired by the humans' defiance. The elder's mandibles twitched, his voice tinged with something akin to awe. The Delpan fought back, of course. They sent fleets, armies, assassins. But the humans didn't fight fair. Ambushes, traps, sabotage. They turned every advantage into a weapon. One by one, Delpan worlds went dark. Their supply lines were cut, their fleets scattered. When the humans finally reached the Delpan capital, they didn't just destroy the empire. They unmade it. And then, they unleashed their most terrifying weapon. The younger one leaned in, intrigued. What weapon? The elder let out a dry chuckle. Lawyers. The humans dragged every Delpan noble, every overseer, every slaver into court. Trials lasted decades. By the end, the Delpan Empire was nothing more than a cautionary tale. And the humans? The younger one asked. They could have conquered the galaxy, the elder said, but they didn't. Instead, they dismantled their fleet and rebuilt the Galactic Council, taking the head chair position. They became peacekeepers, mediators. But make no mistake, they're still hunters at heart. Cross them, and you won't live long enough to regret it. The younger assassin fell silent, absorbing the story. So, the elder continued, that's why no assassin will take a contract on a human. Kill one, and their family will hunt you to the ends of the galaxy. Kill their family, and their species will... He leaned back, draining the last of his drink. And if you're really unlucky, their lawyers will get you. Trust me, you don't want that. The younger one hesitated, then asked, what do you suggest I do then? The elder chuckled. Humans love a good fight, but they prefer it fair. If this one insulted your broodmate, insult them back. Hell, punch them in the face if you must. But if you take my advice, you'll walk away and leave them alone. They're terrifying on the battlefield, but surprisingly reasonable off it. The younger assassin nodded slowly, his resolve shaken. Good, the elder said, rising to leave. Now, if you'll excuse me, my drink is empty, and we're done here. As the older assassin disappeared into the smoky haze of the bar, the younger one sat back, deep in thought. Perhaps, he realized, some prey wasn't worth hunting after all.